Hi, my name is Luis Estrada, and today I'm just gonna talk about my presentation. But before I jump into my presentation, I kind of just want to give you a little bit of information about myself. As I mentioned, my name is Luis Estrada. I am currently I'm a student for BSU, majoring in criminal justice. Hopefully this is my second to last semester before I graduate with my bachelor's in criminal justice. I eventually want to be able to go to law school and study business law. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic itself. So when I thought about my question that I wanted to do, I started thinking, about my environment, where I'm at, and first thing that came to mind was, well, I pretty much lived all my life in Jerome, Idaho. Graduated from Jerome High School in 2009, and I'm Latino. And the thing that came to mind was, well, what's something that's very common that happens in the community if you're Latino growing up in the Jerome community? Well, one of the biggest things that happens is involvement in gangs. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I was in high school and probably middle school too, I was part of that whole entire, I thought we were in gangs and stuff like that. And that was one of the driving forces for me, was to think, alright, well, what about, youth gang involvement? Luckily, I was actually able to go through a program, actually a martial arts program, that helped me re-evaluate what I was doing in life, and it helped me straighten up my life and helped me become more familiar with the criminal justice in a good way, not in a bad way, and eventually led me to where I want to go to, which is business law. And as I started thinking about, well, youth gang involvement, that's a pretty big issue. And as a matter of fact, sorry, I have it right here. As a matter of fact, according to the youth.gov website, gang activity is pretty high. I mean, since 2001 to 2005, it has increased. Side note on that though is from 1990s to 2000, it actually declined, but since then it's gone up and stayed fairly consistent. The more average age group between that, between youth gang members, are between the age of 5 all the way up to 17. And over the past decade, the number of gangs has averaged about 25,000 nationally. And the number of gang members is at about 750,000. So that's a lot. And out of those members, on average, 2 out of 5 are under the age of 17. 2 out of 5. That's crazy. That's what? Let's see. 40%? 40%. That's interesting. And between 1996 to 2008, a majority of those gang members were either of Hispanic descent or African American. As a matter of fact, according again to the youth.gov website, 50% of those were of Hispanic descent and 32% were of African American descent. So I started thinking about that. Well, are there programs out there that are helping out those type of youth, avoiding them from helping them avoid become gang members and being involved in gang memberships? And with a little bit of research, I was able to find out of a program called Striving to Reduce Youth Violence Everywhere, also known as STRIVE. So once I started thinking about that, I'm like, well, I think I got my question. And my question for my research project or my presentation, it's going to be, since its induction is the striving to reduce youth violence everywhere effective in reducing gang membership. And unfortunately, I wish I could say it has or it hasn't, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. But with that being said, I'm very excited to be able to look into that project and see where we can go. But before I leave on that note, I actually wanted to give you a little information about the STRIVE itself. And as a matter of fact, STRIVE stands for Striving to Reduce Youth Violence Everywhere. But it's actually led by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and this is information I obtained from their website as well. And in 2010, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, formed the STRIVE Action Council with their goal of preventing youth violence before it begins. And otherwise than that, I'm actually looking forward to be able to jump into the project and see where, what their standing is and what they've done to be able to help the community and what type of programs they offer, all that type of fun stuff. But thank you for your time.